Sujit. I'm going to talk about Postman API testing today. I will be taking you through why the Postman is required and how things are working out with Postman, and I will be explaining you the gap that Postman fulfills when when we are working on agile methodology, how Postman helps us to move on to higher deliverables, higher potential deliverables, and speed up the deliverables. So, um, starting with the introduction part, Postman started in 2012 by Abhinav Asthana to simplify API workflow testing. API, which stands for Application Programming Interface, which takes your request from the device, fetch the response from the server. Basically, it is a mechanism where it works in between two set of applications or two set of codes to give data on the basis of the selection that has been done on the other application. So we send some data saying that okay, this is my user ID, this is my password. So give me some data on this. So it goes and comes back with fetches the response from the other application or other deployed REST API, and it gives us back the data that we need to display. Let's take a simple example. If I am having a pin code to look forward, I will go to the postman or the post office application, and I will put that pin code there, whether the post office or the deliverables are being delivered by the uh, post office to that IP, we will come to know about it. So this is a simple REST API call which needs to be tested. In that kind of scenario, API testing is important. And why it is important? It is important because we want to have a more stable code, and developer needs to but in this kind of scenario, what happens is basically the developer should have finished that other set of code from where we will get the response, and we should be able to get that response and process it. So there are two parts needs to be completed. But QA will be having a very limited access, because in a let's say in a agile way of development, there is only 2 weeks of work needs to be done on the development side. Let's say 2 weeks. In these 2 weeks, how much time QA will get that is that cannot be very sure of. So that's why what we need to do is, whether this code has been completed with a request and response mechanism or not, can we test it by just placing or using some technology or tool. So there the postman comes into picture. This manual way of testing isn't right for agile methodology and continuous testing. So we cannot always test manually and give the result to the team, and we don't know whether that set of manual testing will work on higher environments like development environment to testing environment, from testing environment to uh, production environment. So it is a very tough task for the QA team to confirm that yes, this requirement has been uh, addressed by the developers. So to do this, we need some middleman, which is postman. Basically, agile testing should be early at the API level. We need to have APIs to be tested while GUI is being ready. So without GUI, can we test it? So that is the question which being answered by the Postman tool. So what are the So the benefits of Postman. When we are talking about Postman, what are the benefits? The benefit is accessibility. Postman can be used by just log into your own account. We can log into our own account, making it easy to access files anytime, anywhere, as long as the Postman application is installed on the computer. And I will show you how easy it is to install. Use of collections. Postman let users create collections for their API calls. Each collection can create subfolders, multiple requests, and this helps while organizing your test suites. Collaboration, collection, and environments can be imported or exported, making it easy to share the files. So basically, if somebody has already done it, then he can export it and I can import it in my uh, Postman and test it from there. So no need to make any changes in that code itself. Creating environments. So having multiple environments in less repetition of tests. So for dev we can use the same thing, just we need to change the links, and links means the IPs, and then same thing we are going to do for test environment and higher environment in productions also. Creation of test checkpoints such as verifying for successful HTTP response status can be added to each API calls, which help ensure test coverage. So here what we are going to do, we are not going to only get the response, what that response has come, whether that status is correct, that also we can test it. I will explain about the HTTP response statuses in elaborately in next. Automation testing through collection runner or Newman, test can be run in multiple iterations, saving time for repetitive tests. And here also we will get the reports, and that report can be shared with the whole team, and it will be very far easier and faster way of doing things. Debugging. Postman console helps to check what data has been retrieved, making it easy to debug tests. So when we get the response, what is that response, and whether that response data we are putting it, yes, we are keeping it while we can do the debugging part of it. Now, what is continuous integration benefit of this? It will be able to support continuous integration, CI/CD development practices are maintained. So this way, not only Agile but also DevOps also we are placing into. We are helping the uh, continuous uh, continuous deployment process. So it will be helpful when we are using Postman. How we can use or how we can install the Postman, I will show you the video here, but stepwise what will happen, we will go to the Postman downloads, postman.com/downloads, and choose our desired platform, whether we are going to use Mac, whether we are going to use Windows or Linux. We will download. Once we download it, then we'll display will run it, and once we run it, the installation will start, and then we will select the what kind of account we are going to create, select the workspace tools you need, and click save. Our preferences are there, and we'll see the startup screen. It is very easy and small process. I will do it and show you. Roles and responsibility of QA for testing APIs. So this is where our testers can talk about what, when they are saying that we are API testers, at that time what happens. So roles and responsibility of QA, when we are talking about this, when I am saying that I am a API tester, what I should know. We should able to talk about web methods like get, post, delete, and a lot of other things are there. So we should understand that. Validate the response type, and error code. So error code will be on the basis of HTTP status code or something where we are going to uh, use if other kind of communication channels. So then we'll need to So here we're going to start working on the Postman, how to download it. So I'll put this. This is postman.com/downloads. I'll go there. So it's opening up. So we can see here the download is there. So what we can do is basically click on this download, depending on whether we need Mac OS, Linux, but this is basically for Windows. And the version you can see it is 7.27.1, and there are release notes, product roadmap, anything you want to see, you can see it, and how the look and feel will be there. It is a screenshot for that. So what I will do, I will click on the download, and it is asking me, you can see Windows 32-bit or 64-bit. I have a system which is Windows 10 and 64-bit, so I will click on the Windows 64-bit, and you can see there is a Postman Win setup.exe file has been uh, s- uh, been shown to me. So I will save the file, and I'll go and check here how the download is progressing. You can see it is 86.7 MB file, and it is slowly getting downloaded in 1.4 MB per second. uh, so it will be done slowly, so we'll wait till that time, or we can right click on this and say open containing folder. So I am here and it is still getting downloaded, as I can see. So we'll wait for some more time and let's see. So it's getting downloaded. Once it is done, then we'll start installing it. So we have almost done. We are almost done. Yes, we are done. So now I can right click on this and we can say run as administrator. So once I say run administrator, it will ask for yes or no. Hold on, it is starting now. So we'll see how the installation thing comes up. So it is installing the Postman. So as the installation in progress, we need to wait uh, the automatic task to be completed. So as the Postman is a very good tool to learn for API testing. There are some other things also there, but this one is the easiest one to use, and this is very much flexible, and we have lots of good features in here. I will talk about it. I'll show you when we are doing the practicals. So the Postman has opened up, and now we can see this thing, because I have been uh, I have been using it, so it's a lot of things are coming, but I will not go to that. But basically, this is the way things needs to be done, and there are some settings also. Uh, Here are the settings. You can go to settings and okay, there are a lot of things here. I will okay. Let me sign it out because I was there already. So what will happen is there will be no data on this. Now it will be opening as a new one, which it should have done previously. So here, we'll hold on for some time and we'll see what is happening. See, so when you are installing it, it will come to here, because why it went directly to there, because I was already logged into the thing. So what you can do is you can create a account here, and when you are clicking on the create account, you will have to give you email ID, username and password, and you should agree to the terms. What we need to do again is able to validate XML and JSON body by using JSON parsers. Mm, We should know about it as a tester. Must know how to use OAuth, OAuth2 authentication mechanisms. There are various authentication mechanisms. OAuth is and OAuth2 is being used mostly in this kind of scenario. So we should know about it. Load and security testing on web services. So we should be able to load and test it properly, able to read and understand the API documentation. What do you mean by API documentation? API documentation keeps track of what are the inputs, what are the outputs, how it will be processed, uh, where is the IP, what is the part of that. So all these API documentation will explain us how we will connect to the services. So that part we need to understand, able to derive good number of test case scenarios. Obviously as a tester we need to do it, and we should have a clean inclination for exploring the things and understanding the requirement, and we should be able to create lot of test scenarios and test cases. Might not be mandatory, but you should know basics of SQL queries to validate API, because most of the APIs work with services and DB data elements. Become a master in a tool of your own choice, whether you are going to use SOAP UI or Postman. These are not automation tools, but REST Assured, REST SAR, Node modules are the open source libraries for API testing. We should know about it. So these are the basic things which, if you know, then you can tell yourself that yes, I am a QA, I am a QA for testing APIs. So as I told you, I will discuss about the HTTP status codes. So HTTP status codes, you can it is very important, and all these HTTP status codes we should remember, or we should be able to identify on the first go itself. uh, so there is a specific format for that. So if we'll understand, 100 and plus till 199 is used for informational purpose. It means the request has been received and the process is in continuation. So if you are continuing with the process, then there will be informational stuff. So those kind of 100 to 199 will be used for HTTP status code. Then comes if we have successfully used 200 to 299 will be successful. It means action was successfully received, understood and accepted. So it is a success. Then comes redirection. 300 399, it will be redirection. It means further action must be taken in order to complete the request. Let's say one service is taking help from another service to get the final response to the client. In that scenario we will be talking about redirection, or we will be talking about uh, the process is being uh, used by another service to get the result back. Then if it is 400 to 499, then it is used for client side error. Anything that goes with a wrong data, uh, let's say it's a only numerical data you should have sent for that particular variable, but you have sent something else. So then it kind of tells that something has happened on the client side or from the postman side. So these errors to be identified on the 400 to 499 inside. And then if there is any server issue, then it comes to 500 to 599. And these are the things that we will be able to use. So I will talk about some basic things like 100. If we are saying only a part of the request has been received by the server, but as long as it has not been rejected, the client should continue with the request. Similarly, if 101 is there, the server switches protocol. So this explains that protocol change is going to. In case of 200, it's the request is fine. 201, the request is complete, a new resource is created, and 202, the request is accepted for processing, but the processing is not complete. So similarly, partial content 206, reset content 205, no content 204, and now moving on to 300. Uh, let's say 303 C other 302, the requested page has moved temporarily to a new URL, and 306 unused and kind of 400 bad request, the server didn't understand the request. 401 unauthorized request, the request page needs a username and a password where you have sent the data without the ID and password. So 401 is one of the things we should remember. It might help us. 403 forbidden, 404 not found. The server cannot find the requested page in case of 404. And similarly, lots of things are there. 417 expectation failed. And now coming to 500, 501, 502, and till 505. 505 HTTP version not supported. Sometimes HTTP protocol version is not there properly, so that time it will come. 503 service unavailable. The server is temporary overloading or down. So these are the things which are there in HTTP status code. I will move on to the okay, we'll do some practical on that in the next session. And if you have any questions, and then you can ask me. I will put my email ID on the description of that, and I will give you some data there so that you can send a mail directly asking me the questions. Thank you.